Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our F123 Driver Career Mode here on the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. We're coming off of win number 2 on the season from the Belgian Grand Prix in Spa as Connor Sport has made more upgrades. They continue to climb up the R&D ranks and maybe at this pace could be a threat by the end of the season. You know who won't be a threat though? The Haas Alfa Romeo team with an announcement right here.
We at Andretti are happy to announce that we have agreed to purchase and take over the Haas F1 team. We will be bringing Andretti Global to the track next year, in what will be an exciting time for Formula One in the United States.
And there you have the news as we come into the Italian Grand Prix weekend. Alfa Romeo Haas is finally pulling out of the sport. I say finally because it's 5 seasons into this career mode and they have done absolutely nothing this whole time. And going in their place, well, it's still an American team. Andretti finally joining the grid. Think about next season here. This is really turning into an exciting season 6 because not only do we have now Andretti coming in confirmed, in place of Haas, but as well we have Williams partnering, of course, with Lamborghini, and then we have McLaren partnering with Toyota. So we've now got 3 brand new brands that are coming into the sport, which is very exciting. And along with Andretti next season, we're going to be seeing Cadillac come in with them as the engine supplier. So 3 new engine suppliers, Lamborghini, as well as Toyota, and then Cadillac there with Andretti. Very exciting times ahead in this career mode. You know, nothing really seems to be changing with Red Bull, Ford, or anything. We're sticking with the Ford pipeline and hoping that third season is going to be the charm, because we realistically know, we can't really win the title this season. I mean, mathematically, it's not impossible, but we're going to need, a significant amount of help with Alex Albon having some struggles, and that's just really unlikely considering, the season we have seen him have so far. We roll into qualifying. Q1 actually made 2 laps here. My first lap wasn't very happy with it. Made a second lap to be safe, and we got up into the top 10 there. But it was Esteban Ocon, Yuki Tsunoda, Zhou Guanyu, Jake Hughes, as well as Marcus Armstrong out in the first session now. Q2 actually made a mistake right here on my first lap right there. Caught a bit of grass, so that ruined my lap. So actually forced me to make a second lap to be able to get through into Q3. And fortunately, we would have a mistake-free lap, and we would gain almost 0.6 of a second. That will put us into the top 10. Jack Doohan, Callie Mayer, Gasly, Sainz for the BMW, Liam Lawson all out there in Q2. Connor Sport, they're finding some pace with these upgrades, and I don't know where these upgrades have come from, but they are really looking promising. And if they continue at the pace they are, doing right now over the last few episodes, I fear for the competition we're going to have in the coming races right down in maybe the end part of the season. Doesn't look like we're going to see any regulation changes either, so it's going to be really interesting. But my lap here in Q3 looking very solid so far here, catching a bit of curb there, going down through the final turn. I was, decently okay with it. I wasn't hugely happy with it, but it ended up P6, P7. It would be P7, P8 for myself and Drugovich. I would find more speed on my last attempt, but I would go wide in the final turn, and I would try to stay committed and hope for the best, and you can see we pay the price. So P7 is where we will start, but it's at home. A Ferrari front row lockout. Verstappen on pole over his teammate of Lewis Hamilton, Albon, Russell, Jackson, Norris, myself, Drugovich, Piastri, and Leclerc Trancos duo, the bottom 2, as we get ready to head to the grid.
A difficult race awaits these drivers here in Monza, but glory awaits too at the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest track in Formula One. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some close action. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Russell, Jackson, Norris, Golden Boy, Drugovic, Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Doohan, Mayer, Gasly, Sainz, Liam Lawson, Ocon, Joe, Hughes, Armstrong and Yuki Tsunoda. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Gary, what's the goal today after last week's win?
Win again. I mean, there's no reason we can't do it. We got the momentum. We're ready to roll then here from Monza for the Italian Grand Prix strategy. Today we're trying the same thing as last episode, going softs to mediums. Let's see if this strategy can put us to the front and go for back-to-back victories for the first time this season.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
All right, boys, we've kind of found our stride recently, so let's keep it up today. I say we can win this one again.
Absolutely, mate. Go get win number 3.
We're ready to roll in Italy here for the Italian Grand Prix from Monza, such a historic racetrack, and of course with the teams being so close in the top 5 teams, DRS and everything, it's going to be, you know, just even more important than it usually is here now as we are ready to roll from P7, P8 for Red Bull, Ford 5, red lights. I think we got more race pace and qualifying pace for both cars. Let's prove it. We're racing here from the Italian Grand Prix, a bit of a slow start from the Mercedes of Lando Norris there. As well, you see Hamilton, a bit of a slow start, but Albon not very quick either. Verstappen gets away. We slide down into turn 1 into the back of Aiden Jackson. Fortunately, no damage. Everybody gets through these first couple of corners without any issues there. Fortunately, we nearly got ourselves, you know, a front wing torn right off right there with the contact on the back of the McLaren, but we're okay. The 2 Connor Sports are away there with Doohan as well as Callie Mayer. They continue to impress as we continue to keep a close eye on that team in these coming weeks now of this career mode. Verstappen several car lengths ahead of his teammate of Lewis Hamilton. As you can see, trailing behind them the 2 McLarens of Albon as well as Aiden Jackson. Then myself just in front of George Russell, that is just behind me here, and a bit of a poor exit. It's going to open the door for Russell to go for the attack here, and I don't want to get caught up with these cars behind. I want to try and stay with the cars ahead, so I'm going to race them really hard here on the run down towards the chicane, so we're not going to give them a lot of room to work with, and we are able to stay in front right there. P5 is what we hold on to at the end of this first and opening lap of this Italian Grand Prix. So we started P7, gained 2 spots, got up to 5th. Our teammate of Drugovic was actually able to slip through and get up into P6 here. As you can see, some battles kicking off right here between everybody. The Ferraris and the McLarens both going at each other now. Jackson looking for second in the World Drivers' Championship, and I mean, really, he still has a chance to win the championship if things go wrong for Alex Albon. The 2 Ferraris continue to fight at the end of the DRS straight here. Now DRS not enabled yet. I have to slam on the brake pedal, and this closes everybody up now. And look at this, Drugovic, the Mercedes behind as well, and the Ferraris going at it. The McLarens, it's 2 by 2 by 2, 3, 4 rows even, deep NASCAR style. When you look at a Daytona, a Talladega, and Atlanta Motor Speedway, it's scenes out of that, but everybody gets it sorted briefly. But Verstappen's gonna fight back to the right side of Hamilton, and here comes Albon. What's gonna happen here? 3 wide, 4 wide, nearly Jackson backs out of it, and Albon might go from 4th to 1st. I back out of it, don't want to force anything that's just going to get us into a risky, position to get damage on the car. But Alex Albon has gone from 4th to 1st. What a move right there from the championship leader and defending world champion of the sport, of course. Drugovic was caught up in his own battle, but he would quickly run us back down after staying ahead of Russell as the battles up front continue as well. Jackson slips through into second, passing Hamilton, who locks up on the apex, and he's going to fade out of the distance and out of the picture briefly now. But Drugovic and him would stay pretty close to us as the battles would continue everywhere. Jackson with the DRS on the front straightaway was actually able to pass Alex Albon. A lap later, Albon's going to go back past him, and at this point, as I nearly run into the back of Max Verstappen, my teammate of Drugovic and Hamilton are right back here with us now, and Drugovic was showing a lot of pace actually, and I have a bit of a moment of oversteer right here out of the final turn, coming to only lap 6 at this point, and I decided to not fight it too much. Drugovic seems to be a little bit quicker than me in this moment, so I decided, okay, I'm going to give him a couple laps, let's see what our teammate can do in this Red Bull Ford, and we'll just kind of stay in his DRS and kind of let things play out over these next few laps, and if an opportunity, arises to pass him back, we'll certainly take it. A very wild opening start to this race, however, and now Drugovich passing Verstappen. He oversteered right on the nose of the Ferrari, nearly took him out. They would be side by side, though, with the DRS on the run down towards turn 1. I'm not going to force the 3 wide. I very well could, but I'm not going to on a teammate, so I'm going to stay put behind him and just really try to work together to put Verstappen behind both of us. Verstappen actually understeers into the side pod of me, but we're okay. We get through into 4th. Now the Ferraris, who started 1 and 2, are down to 5th and 6th as the McLarens again continuing to battle at the front, and that's going to allow Drugovich and myself to get up in the mix of this battle for the lead once again. And I said the 2 Red Bulls, I think we have more race pace than qualifying pace. We're certainly proving that, starting 7th and 8th, we're now up to battling for the lead of this Grand Prix right here. As you can see, Drugovich trying to go around the outside of Alex Albon, unsuccessful right off the bat, and they would continue side by side through turn 1 and 2. Drugovich finally backs out of it, and I stay put behind him for now, but we come through towards the end of lap 10 now, and again Drugovich going for a move. Aiden Jackson loving this because he's driving away, and here I come with a huge run down the front straightaway. This time we're going to force it up the inside, 3 wide, too good of a run to give up, but I wasn't confident we're going to get through turn 1 clean, so I back out of it again and let this thing kind of just play out, and we'll see if we can maybe catch one of them off guard and go for a move. And Drugovich a bit slow, he slows up quite a bit. I look up the inside, contact actually briefly right there with a Brazilian teammate, but we come through anyways, and we're going to take 3rd place back from Drugovich. I could go for a move up the inside of Albon, but I decided to play it safe right here as I have a big slide there. The rear tires lock up just a little bit into the chicane, but we're okay. We keep it under control, and then on the front straightaway a lap later, we are going to absolutely blow by the McLaren, and there we go into 2nd place here in the Italian Grand Prix. Albon tries to fight back up the inside. He'll be unsuccessful in that adventure, and then towards the end of this lap, our pit window is open. We are going to pit, but Albon actually, Mark comes over the radio and says Albon's got a mechanical problem, so he is going to drop down the order for like the first time this season. Finally, something is going wrong with the World Championship leader. We're going to come into the box so at the end of this lap, and we're going to put on a set of medium compound tires. Russell is going to follow us in as well, but it looks like it's just us 2 pitting. Hamilton is already pitted, by the way. Never even noticed that. We were so caught up in this battle that he was able to just pit completely under the radar, and he's going to come out in front of us, so he's probably going to be the net leader of this Grand Prix once the pit cycle has run its course. So we'll exit here just a little bit behind him. He's going to open up the gap even more as we try to, of course, warm up these medium tires, which warm up a lot quicker than a set of hards do. But by the end of lap 13, you can see the situation. We're able to pass Drugovich. Albon's way down the order already. That's not looking good for him, and Jackson has stayed out an additional lap here, so Jackson is definitely going to give up the lead to Hamilton, but is he going to give up 2nd to me? Let's see. There you go. Hamilton to the lead. Jackson remains in 2nd as he had such a nice margin when he, of course, came into the pit box set. He's still able to hold on to a pretty competitive position. He's on hards. Hamilton, myself, Drugovich, we're all on mediums, while Verstappen's also on hards. I expect Jackson to run Hamilton down, so I wasn't really trying to force anything. I was actually trying to use Jackson to pull me up to Hamilton so we can get a part of this battle for the lead after setting a purple sector 1 here on lap 16. Now slow car. That's Lando Norris in the Mercedes, who's going to have a mechanical failure for I think the 3rd time this season.
No power? Come on guys, are you joking?
You hear the radio from Lando Norris, not impressed, and he shouldn't be impressed. And immediately a lap later, we have another yellow flag, and it's George Russell this time. 1 lap later, Russell with a mechanical failure as well, in virtually the same spot.
Are you kidding me, guys?
And obviously, both Mercedes drivers not thrilled with what's happened here now, as we're going to go through the grid with 10 to go.
The chase is on as Jackson and Owen are running down Lewis Hamilton for the lead. Things are surely set to spice up here within the next lap.
Drugovich not far off either. Don't count out the young Brazilian who is still looking for that first win in Formula One. Verstappen on an island of his own, currently in 5th, as Albon is trying to rebound from his issue and pass the Trackhouse machine.
Leclerc doesn't make it easy as he fights back Albon in a great battle here. Both Connor Sport cars as well in the top 10, capitalising on the issues for Mercedes today.
Looks like Albon will get the job done there finally. Leclerc didn't make it easy, but yeah, the McLaren is just a bit too strong for him.
And there you have a brief through the grid here. Now as that ends, we see now Jackson has run Hamilton down and on the run towards the final turn, coming to 9 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. He's going for the lead around the outside. British drivers on British here. On the exit of the corner, they continue wheel to wheel. Hamilton, of course, several championships in his career, while Jackson has none, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen this season, as he's still looking for win number 1 on the season, but he might have to wait longer because we just got a 2-for-1 special with the DRS on the run down towards turn 1. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll go and try to run away with the victory now. And as they would continue to scrap it out behind, we would continue to try and grow the gap, but it wasn't enough. Jackson would escape Hamilton and go up by inside with the DRS. I let him have it, so we drop back down into second place, but it's not going to be long until we have DRS on the next straightaway and have an opportunity to pass him back. And here we are with the DRS to start lap 20. We're going to breeze by him. Hamilton's got DRS. He's going to look up the inside as well. The Ferrari here in second, and the Tifosi are absolutely loving what they see, but is it going to be enough to get him to the top step of the podium? I don't think so, and especially because a few moments after that, Lewis Hamilton, I get told from Mark, is having a mechanical issue. That's going to be heartbreaking there. He's going to drop down the order, and immediately Jackson would be able to get past Hamilton, and it was going to be Drugovich following soon after. So Hamilton dropping down the order, and the gap to Jackson, 1.4 seconds. We have seen mechanical issues for Mercedes, which have taken both cars out. We've seen issues for Ferrari now and McLaren. We haven't seen any issues for Red Bull Ford yet, and let's hope it stays that way because we're in the closing laps of this Grand Prix, and with Hamilton slowing up Jackson in that battle, it allowed me to break out of the DRS. However, Jackson is closing a little bit every lap right now. The gap was about 1.7 seconds as we go through the back half of the track chicane, and you can see that gap closes down a little bit, 1.6 seconds now, and as we start the next lap, just 4 to go, about 1.5 seconds. This right here is my strong point. I was really able to open up the gap every time through this first chicane, and then I would just kind of lose a little bit more as the lap went on. 1.4, 1.3 seconds now, coming to 3 laps to go. We're just trying to keep him out of the DRS. But at the pace he's running, he's going to get in the DRS now. We're coming to 3 laps to go, 1.2 seconds through the final sweeping right-hander. Drugovich as well is closing in on me, but he's just not going to have enough time. So I'm clearly not the quickest car here right now at the end of this Grand Prix. 4.1, 4.2 to Drugovich now, 4.1 and 1.1, 1.0 as we come to 2 laps to go. Jackson gets in DRS range, but he fortunately wasn't in that 1 second at the DRS detection point, so we can stay calm for now. Coming to the final lap, a lap and a half to go at this point, and the gap still about that 1.1, 1.0 second range. It's going to be really, really close. No DRS for Jackson on this straightaway, but it's all going to come down to the next front straightaway approaching the final lap through the chicane. 1.1 again, now down to 1.0. Don't want to see 9/10, but that's exactly what we see on the run towards the final turn. Jackson hits the DRS detection point within a second of myself. Final lap, but now he's got a bunch of battery to use, and he's got DRS to get him very close. Immediately, I'm going to make sure he's got no slipstream on the run down towards turn 1. It doesn't matter. He's closed the gap to half a second here. This first sector, this is going to be our strong point, so it's really going to be about defense once we end this first sector, which is in just a few seconds. And we go down in through the right-hander, and we go a little bit wide, actually, on the first one. Jackson's going to close through the second one a little bit cautious there, but Jackson makes a mistake. He runs wide. He's got DRS, but that might be all we needed to at least put us in a comfortable position, trying to break the slipstream as much as we can. Jackson is here, and he's ready to pounce now through the final chicane for the final time, lap 27, and he is right here on us, ready to pounce Jackson. I'm going to give him the right side. We're going to drag race on the run towards the final turn. Who's going to get here first now? We give him enough room. We're going to send it around the outside, lick the stamp, send it. It sticks. We're ahead, but is it enough? Jackson fights back up the inside. It's a drag race to the line. It's a photo finish, and we win the Italian Grand Prix by a nose. Unbelievable.
Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friends. Well done.
Oh my god, what a finish, guys. Thank you. Thank you. What a day. 2 in a row. I told you guys.
There it is then, victory in the Italian Grand Prix, an historic race and an achievement they can be immensely proud of. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I think the key here was just the quality of the racecraft, you know? I mean, how many overtakes did they make overall? I'm sure we have a stat person keeping score somewhere, and it was fantastic to watch, wasn't it? This is a strategic sport at the end of the day, but it's always really gratifying to see close-fought battles on track. It's what all the fans are after.
What a finish here in Monza. We're able to pick up our 3rd win on the season and 2nd in a row. I mean, there's a perfect world where we could go win, all the races left in the season, and I still don't think we win the championship at that point, just with Alex Albon. However, he did have a rough day today with his mechanical issue. They got it sorted by the end of the race. However, unfortunately for Albon, he was so disconnected from everybody, and he was actually engaged in a DRS back and forth fight with one of the Trackhouse cars. Not sure exactly which one it is at this moment, but definitely a lack of points for Albon. Could this be a sign of things to come? Maybe McLaren going to see more issues here? I doubt it. But I kind of hope so for the sake of the championship battle. But he still ends up P7 after a fight with Oscar Piastri he was fighting with. And how about this? For the first time ever, Connor Sport with the 2 Mercedes having their issues, both of their cars in the points with Mayer in P9, Doohan in P10. How does this affect the championship standings? Of course, well, Albon's still ahead by 69 nice points over his teammate of Aiden Jackson, who's still seeking that first win. We're tied with Drugovich, 114 back. 159 back in the manufacturers or constructors, and we're only 2 points behind Mercedes for second, while McLaren continues to open up that gap. I'll see you guys in the next one from the Japanese Grand Prix. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.